So the biggest challenge for many people who faced abuse and had to work through it is overcoming the guilty, the shame, and the pain of that experience. To help us overcome that, or to learn how, is author Rae Ann Hall. She's joining us this morning. It's pretty cool to be able to call you an author now.
Yes, absolutely.
So Rae Ann and I have been friends and worked together on the nonprofit now. But now you called me and you said, I have a book and I'd like to talk about it. Tell us all about your book, Rae Ann.
Okay. Well, my book is actually one of the 6-word lesson series, and what that is snackable wisdom on different subjects. And of course, as you mentioned, mine is on overcoming abuse and adversity. And abuse is actually very prevalent, as you know. You and I both have Me Too stories. You shared your story on air, and it gave me so much courage and inspiration. Really, you had an impact in my life.
Thank goodness.
And, you know, according to RAIN.org, 1 in 6 women will be sexually assaulted. So it's very prevalent. And like I said, I have my own story. When I was a child, I was sexually abused on multiple occasions. And as a young adult, I actually ended up in relationships that were physically and emotionally abusive. And so it took a lot of courage to overcome and get out of those. And took even more courage to face myself and say, why is this happening? And so I set out to learn, and my education, my research, and through trial and error, I discovered that a lot of people who've been abused as a child end up in those same abusive situations. And so it's important to actually take time and break that cycle. And so I set out to do just that. And I developed these forward principles.
And these are great. I'll just read some of them. It's see what it takes to achieve, visualize desired result and outcome, expect good things coming your way.
Yes. And I think even another example of a forward principle is being present. I start with that because a lot of abuse victims will bury it and act like it never happened. And what happens when you do that is it actually stunts your growth. And so it's important. I don't care if it happened 20 years ago or if it happened last week. At some point you have to come to terms that this did happen. You're not okay that it happened. It's just acknowledging that it happened. And working through it. Forgiveness can be key in it as well, because obviously you can't forgive the act; it's not forgivable. But to be able to forgive the person, and I want to say that it doesn't mean you keep them in your life, because I've had a lot of friends reach out to me who are staying in abusive relationships, and sometimes that can happen. And I just want to say you have resources out there. Have the courage to get out of that. And set the boundaries, and then start creating. Another effect of abuse is low self-esteem. There's anxieties, post-traumatic stress disorder. And so in my book, there talks about different strategies to get through those. And you stay in a situation because of your low self-image and self-esteem, and so I talk a lot about that.
Yeah, this is great. 6-word lessons to overcome abuse and adversity, 100 lessons, courageously move forward. I got to read the very last lesson, share your wisdom and give encouragement, and that is certainly what you're doing, Rae Ann, and we are all grateful for it. Thank you so much. We will be right back.